Are you tracking a heart risk score without realizing it may predict whether you keep sharp vision 10 years from now?
Welcome to Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. Stay informed with quick, easy-to-listen summaries of our latest articles, perfect for when you're on the go. No reading required. Subscribe for free at mercola.com for the latest health insights.
Hello, and welcome to Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. I'm Ethan Foster. Today we're examining how your cardiovascular risk score offers an early warning for eye diseases, why microvessels are the pivot point, and which practical steps help you protect circulation to your retina and optic nerve before symptoms appear.
I'm Alara Sky. We're grounding this episode in evidence showing that the same factors raising your heart and stroke risk also raise your risk for macular degeneration, diabetic retinopathy, glaucoma, hypertensive retinal damage, and blocked retinal veins. The key idea is early detection and early action using information you already have from routine care.
Your cardiovascular risk score combines age, cholesterol patterns, blood pressure, blood sugar balance, and smoking history. Those markers capture cumulative vascular stress. Large arteries tolerate strain for years. The smallest vessels fail earlier. Your retina and optic nerve depend on a dense network of tiny vessels that must deliver steady oxygen and nutrients with precision.
A study in ophthalmology followed 35,909 adults ages 40 to 79 who started with healthy hearts and eyes. Researchers calculated a standardized 10-year heart risk score and tracked eye outcomes over several years. Higher cardiovascular risk matched a higher likelihood of serious eye disease, and the pattern was stepwise. As heart risk went up, eye risk went up.
The numbers were striking. Compared with people in the lowest risk category, those in the highest group were more than 6 times as likely to develop age-related macular degeneration and nearly 6 times as likely to develop diabetic retinopathy. Risks for hypertensive retinal damage, retinal vein occlusion, and glaucoma also rose. These associations persisted across 5, 6, and 7 years of follow-up.
When researchers adjusted for components of the score, age explained much of macular degeneration risk, while diabetes and blood pressure strongly drove diabetic and hypertensive eye disease. Different conditions reflect different stresses, yet all share a vascular foundation. The mechanism centers on injury to the endothelium, the thin lining that regulates vessel tone and integrity, leading to reduced perfusion of sensitive eye tissue.
Metabolic stress accelerates that injury. Elevated glucose, unbalanced lipids, and sustained hypertension generate oxidative stress that weakens vessel walls, disrupts flow, and promotes inflammatory signaling inside retinal tissue. This is why eye damage can build quietly for years before you notice blurred vision, blind spots, or pressure changes, and why a heart risk score can function as an early vision alert.
Now for practical steps drawn from these mechanisms. First, remove dietary linoleic acid, LA, from vegetable oils because it damages cellular energy production and impairs circulation. Prioritize eliminating corn, soybean, canola, sunflower, and safflower oils at home, and assume restaurant food uses them unless confirmed otherwise. Replace them with grass-fed butter, ghee, or beef tallow. Target less than 5 grams of LA daily, ideally under 2 grams.
If you need help tracking intake, use a tool that monitors LA to the 10th of a gram so you can see your numbers in real time. Lowering LA supports mitochondrial membranes and restores cleaner energy output, which improves microvascular function. Because retinal vessels are highly delicate, this reduction is especially relevant for protecting your eyesight.
Second, fuel mitochondrial function with adequate carbohydrates to stabilize retinal blood flow. About 250 grams per day suits most adults, with higher needs if you're active. Start with fruit and white rice, then add root vegetables and other starches gradually. Watch digestion as you scale intake. A steadier glucose supply reduces swings that strain vessels and helps retinal tissue receive consistent energy.
Third, walk daily to improve circulation to your retina and optic nerve. Movement lowers vascular resistance, supports waste clearance, and boosts mitochondrial energy production. If you're sedentary, begin with 10-minute walks and work toward an hour a day. This is not optional if your goal is to protect vision. Consistent walking directly benefits microvascular health.
Fourth, Use sunlight strategically to restore cellular energy without overexposure. Sunlight supports nitric oxide production, lowers blood pressure, and increases mitochondrial melatonin that protects vessels from oxidative damage. If you've accumulated years of LA, emphasize morning and late afternoon light and avoid peak sun until you've been off seed oils for at least 6 months. As membranes recover, tolerance improves.
Fifth, track insulin resistance early with HOMA-IR so you can act before vision loss begins. Use a single fasting sample. HOMA-IR equals fasting glucose times fasting insulin, divided by 405 in milligrams per deciliter units, or divide by 22.5 if glucose is in millimoles per liter. A result below 1.0 is considered healthy. Higher values indicate insulin resistance. Rising values warrant attention because insulin resistance quietly injures retinal microvessels.
There's a practical illustration here. A personal HOMA-IR of 0.2, achieved by adding carbohydrates while avoiding seed oils, reflects efficient fuel use and better insulin sensitivity. The point isn't to copy a number, but to verify your own trajectory. When insulin sensitivity improves, oxidative burden on vessels falls, and visual tissues gain protection.
Let's translate all of this into action you can take at your next visit. When your clinician calculates your cardiovascular risk score, treat it as a dual marker for heart and eye risk. If your score trends higher, don't wait for vision changes. Begin LA reduction, calibrate carbohydrate intake, set a daily walking target, schedule safe sunlight exposure, and order fasting glucose and insulin to compute HOMA-IR.
This approach is proactive rather than reactive. Instead of waiting for pressure spikes or vision tests to fail, you address endothelial dysfunction and metabolic strain while retinal tissue is still resilient. The study's long time horizon, associations persisting across many years, means you have a meaningful window to change course.
You can also align expectations. Vision loss often appears before obvious chest symptoms because small vessels have less margin for error. If you've assumed no heart symptoms equals low risk, this is your cue to reconsider. Using the same score your doctor already calculates gives you a practical, personalized tool for prevention.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe now and click the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.